Well, I hope it's successful. It certainly does seem to be. The big thing, I think, is the fact that we have a group of teachers and students and people who are working together and keeping open lines of communication and trying to have an understanding with each other. We do everything in our power to try to understand what the needs are and what needs to be done as far as correcting any problems that we might have.
How do you hold these open lines of communications?
Well, in several ways. With parents, we have a principals forum, a meeting and a coffee the last Monday of each month for parents to ask any questions they want to about the school. For students, we have I buy their lunches. We have a private dining room in the homemaking area where we can take 6 or 7 students, a cross section, and we buy their lunch, and we are able to get feedback this way. And through the teachers, of course, they get feedback, and we get a lot of feedback through our youth advisor.
How do you, what is it that's usually discussed at this luncheon, principal's luncheon with students?
Well, the thing that a lot of students want to know, originally, the questions have changed, of course, understand, from the first beginning of our desegregated days. The first questions had to do with some of the problems of the school. We had a few problems, several problems, as a matter of fact, the first 2 or 3 weeks till there was a certain adjustment took place. And there were a lot of questions asked then about races and so on, about understanding different kinds of situations and things. And now, of course, things have settled down now where students are asking different kinds of questions about like when we're going to have the next talent show and these kind of things.
Now, you have a committee of students who get together with you and discuss some of the problems, but how do you involve the student body as a whole to ask questions, to submit ideas, or to explore problems?
It's through our suggestion box. It's probably the most successful thing I guess we've done. Students are invited to write any comment or any question they want to and put it in the box, and they don't have to sign it if they don't want to. And the reason why it's successful is because we answer. We respond as soon as I pick up and usually at this time I have 400 or 500 different suggestions and comments from students, and we respond on the broadcast system at our 5th period announcements, and we try to answer as honestly and fairly as we can.
Sometimes discipline problems result in a suspension of the student. How do you handle suspended students?
Well, unfortunately, of course, we had a good many suspensions in the first part of the year, but about a month ago we started a new operation called GAS, which is Gaston Academic Services, where we will put a student and keep him in school in a sort of a frozen situation where he's self-contained with one person, one teacher's aide. And this way we have only had 4 suspensions in the past month.
I think that a lot of students don't like it. I mean, you know, it's natural that they wouldn't like it. But I think that it's going to help keep people in school. It's going to cut down on the rate of dropouts because a lot of kids just try to get suspended so they can be out on the streets. And I really think it helps keep them in school.
Doug, have you heard any reaction to that?
Well, just naturally, nobody likes it, and that's a good thing. When they get back to class, they act much better, a lot nicer.
If you don't listen to films in class, I'm sure you listen to it in GAS because it's really no fun.
Sharon?
Well, it's the same thing. Well, it really, while you're in there, it helps you to study. It teaches you how to study. And so you learn, and like they say, you teach you how to take tests and listen, and it helps you a whole lot.
Do you know of any students who like the GAS class?
No.
3 times we've had some ripples from other area adjoining schools where there were problems and rumors were started. And the way we approach this, when we hear the rumors, we have a meeting of the Student Advisory Committee, and we try to dissect it. We try to examine the facts and see how it pertains to us, if it does or it doesn't. And we try to have this meeting in the morning, and then I instruct the students. They go out at the lunch period on the blacktop and they spread the word on what the fact of it is. Of course, sometimes they're true rumors, but most of the time they're just rumors as such. Sometimes I'm afraid people read race into a problem when it really isn't there. It's just 2 boys that, for example, a few minutes ago, there was 2 young men out here had a problem out there with a soccer ball after lunch. It had nothing to do with race, but the thought flashed through a lot of people's mind that was a problem of racial nature. Just 2 boys that collided.
One of the key elements at Gaston Junior High School is open lines of communication. The principal being available to the student, and the student knowing that he's going to get an answer to the problem that confronts that student. Another key element is cooperation. Cooperation between student and teacher. Cooperation between student, teacher, and principal. And cooperation between student, teacher, principal, and parent. All of these things tie together at Gaston to make desegregation work.